Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Bev.
And welcome to Chris and Bev's Travels and Tootles. Today's video is a walk along the glorious Northumberland coastline. And this is going to be part of the series of posts we're going to be doing this year about Seahouses and this amazing area that we're in today. We've been coming to Northumberland for about 6 years now for holidays and short breaks, and totally fallen in love with this place. And hopefully the videos that we're going to be posting this year will show you why we love it so much. So much so that last year we ended up buying a static caravan here, further up the coast in Seahouses, and we'll show you a bit more about that in another video. So today's video is a walk from Craster back to where we are at Seahouses. It's a walk of about 10 to 11 miles roughly, and there's some amazing scenery. We're going to be stopping off at a couple of places for a little refreshment, can't get my words out, and maybe a bite to eat. And we'll show you those places as we go to them. So we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do like it, please hit the like and subscribe button. It does mean a lot to us, just to tell us that what we're doing and what we're posting, that's Mrs. Marshall following over there, is providing some useful information and is helpful for people going to these places. So thanks for watching. This is the starting point of our walk today, Craster, the little village, a little harbour village of Craster. Beautiful little place this is. Home to Craster kippers, which are, if you look behind me, there's a street going up there. Craster kippers are made there just across the road from one of the local pubs, and very nice they are too. They're a bit of a delicacy around here. So we're starting the first part of the walk, which is going to be from Craster to Dunstable Castle, which is a magnificent castle which we'll show you in a bit. But just show you a little bit of the harbour now. Up that street there, to the left there's a pub which is very nice, just really good food, and then opposite it is where the Craster kippers are made, and you quite often come and see the smoke coming out of the smokehouse. Really lovely smell. Okay, onward to Dunstable. So we're on the fields that come straight out of Craster, heading towards Dunstable Castle, which you can see on the headland there, just dominating the views around here. And we'll show you a little bit more as we get closer to the castle. It's a really good castle, well worth looking at. It's ruins. It's not a living or working castle anymore like Bamborough is, but it's owned by English Heritage, so if you're part of English Heritage it'll be free for you to visit, and it's as I said, really good castle and ruins to have a good look around. Well worth it, and some really good views from the castle itself, and you can climb up one of the ramparts as well to the top to get a really good view from up there, so definitely worth coming to. So this is Craster to Dunstable, and we'll show you a little bit more as we get a bit closer. So as you can see, it's a glorious day today. It really is fantastic. It's only March the 3rd, but the sun is out, there's not a cloud in the sky, and the sea is wonderfully calm and still, and it's a really good day for a walk. This walk is one we've done once before when we first started coming to Northumberland 6 years ago, and we've always wanted to do it since. Which is why we're doing it today, for your benefit as well as ours. And the good thing about the Northumberland coast is you can walk as far or as short as you want. It just stretches for miles and miles, and it's just glorious all the way through. So this walk we're doing from Craster back to Seahouses is roughly 10 to 11 miles. I'll tell you exactly how far when we get there, but roughly that's about the ballpark. distance we're going to.
Some stop-off points though.
Yes, we'll be having a couple of stop-off points for refreshments, obviously, and hopefully some food at one of our favourite pubs along this coastline, the Ship Inn. At Low Newton, but we'll go through that one more when we get there. This part of the walk's quite nice because it's on grass rather than on the beach or the coastal path across the dunes. And we got here by bus this morning, so we got the bus from Seahouses off to Craster. It's a good bus service along the Northumberland route. It runs from up from Berwick-upon-Tweed, and some of the buses, the one we got today, run down as far as Newcastle city centre, which is really good. Yeah, they are spaced out. There's not too many buses, and they all stop at different stops. But for a coastal service bus service, it is very good. So it's good to be able, you just need to plan your times and find out what the bus times are, so you can plan where you're going to catch it, and if you're going to get it back, at what time to get it back from. But the bus services are really good, so we've been using it quite a bit. And it only took about 20 minutes to get from Seahouses to Craster on the bus this morning. Right, so we're getting closer to Dunstable Castle, and we'll show you a little bit in a second or two. Those magnificent cliffs. That is a daunting sight for anyone who was thinking of taking on this castle, without a doubt. And when it gets to breeding season for the seabirds and stuff, that'll be absolutely chocker with seabirds later on this year. Glorious, absolutely glorious. So 2 miles into the walk now. Dunstable Castle is behind us. Just walking parallel to one of the golf course on my left hand side here, which there are many dotted around the Northumberland coastline. If you're a keen golfer, there's some cracking links courses to play. And that is the beach there, heading to Low Newton. Beautiful sands, lovely calm sea. No words really needed, really. Do you know what? As a country, or an island country, we do have some magnificent beaches and some magnificent coastline. Foreign holidays are great. We go on plenty of holidays abroad, but there's a lot to be said for our own, what's on our doorstep. And this place is no exception. So this is the beach now that goes to Low Newton. Tide's out, it is rising slowly, but at no point we'll get cut off from the coastline, so this bit will all be beach now until we get to Low Newton. we're getting closer to Low Newton. The castle still dominates the headline along this part of the walk. Weather's really fabulous still. We've done about 3.5 miles so far. Around this bend here is the last sort of stretch to Low Newton, which is about 3/4 of a mile now into Low Newton itself. And that's going to be our first stop off point for a well-deserved drink. So we'll see you very shortly. So very close to Low Newton now. That's Low Newton there. This is Low Newton Beach. Beautiful beach. It's one of our favourite beaches along this coastline. As you can see, on a day like this, the sea is fantastic. Quite good and quite safe to bathe in the summer months when it's a bit warmer.
They do a bit of wild swimming there as well, don't they?
Yeah, wild swimming. You can see people wild swimming around here as well. So that's Low Newton. So Low Newton is a very small village. There's two parts to Newton. There's Low Newton and High Newton. It's about 3/4 of a mile between the two. You've got that sort of clump of houses there, which is effectively Low Newton. There are some Airbnbs or cottages to hire and stuff, and there's the pub which we're going to, which is called the Ship Inn. High Newton is the same, very small. There are a few houses and stuff. There is a pub there called the Joiners Arms, which we haven't been to yet, but we are going to give that a try at some point this year, and we'll let you know what that's like. And there is a big hotel there, which we are going to be going to this year, and we'll be doing a bit of a review of that place, because that's where we're going to a wedding in September for our nephew, which we're looking forward to. But that's for another day. So we will see you in the Ship Inn for a pint and hopefully a bite to eat. Yes, so the Ship Inn has its own microbreweries as well. It brews its own ales, and I can heartily recommend them. The Ship Inn ale is really nice, and the food's great. We had Craster crab sandwiches here the first time we visited, and they were to die for. Really fresh seafood, like a lot of places up and down the coast. They use seasonal, locally caught foods, and you can really taste the difference. So we'll see you very shortly for a drink.
Sit inside.
And here we are at the Ship Inn, tucked away in the corner there. So we're just leaving the Ship Inn. We've had, I've had a couple of pints. Mrs. Emma's had one. And Bev had a Ploughman's. I had the local crab sandwich, and I think I got the last one as well by the look of it, which was really good. Glorious food, really nice. Again, really recommend this place if you are in Low Newton or walking past here. It is very popular, quite busy even at this time of year, and in the summer it does get very busy, but it's well worth calling in for. Right, so we'll start the next leg of our walk. Mrs. M's guiding me while I'm walking. And we're now going to head to Beadnell, which is about another 3 3/4 miles walk. This is a bit of fields and grass and then back on beach. So we'll show you a few videos as we make our way to Beadnell. See you in a bit. So we're about to say goodbye to Northumberland Castle, which has dominated the coastline on the walk so far, and we'll shortly lose sight of that as we head round this next bend here on our route to Beadnell. So Beadnell is right over there. Looks miles away. It's about 3.5 now. The route doesn't take us on the beach though. It does for bits of it, but a lot of it is, some of it is off beach along the coastal path. As we get into Beadnell. Again, it's a nice walk. It's a nice mixture of land and sand and sea if you want to paddle in it. So, and you can see the beach is there, so we'll be hitting that bit in a bit.
Good morning.
'Just listen to that peace and quiet. Just make us way onto the beach and there's nobody here. There's a couple right at the other side of the cove, right at the other side, but other than that it's just me and Mrs. M. Amazing. Just love this. Really love it. Six miles into the walk now. This is one of the beaches between Lower Newton and Beadnell. You can see just how close the sea comes in when the tide comes in. The tide is actually just going back out again now, so it shows you how close it gets to the coastline. And again, hardly anyone on the beach. There's about 5 people up in front of us, about half a mile up, but that's it. This is a great time of year to come to Northumberland if you are going to come here, because the beaches are just so quiet. Even in summer they're not massively overpopulated, I've got to be honest. And yeah, if you are a dog owner, dogs can go on all of the beaches all of the time, unrestricted. There are no restrictions and to time of year or parts of the beach. They are welcome on all the beaches and they are brilliant for dogs of all sizes. They're clean, and as long as you clean up after yourself, as you should do as a dog owner, then there's no problem. So definitely a great place to come if you're a dog owner. Right, we shall plough on to our next destination. Now in Beadnell, for our next watering hole, there's a number of places you can go to actually. There's 3 pubs. There is a cafe which is licensed, and there's also a sort of courtyard which I think is licensed as well actually, but it does more sort of coffees and teas and cakes and stuff. So there's a number of places to eat in Beadnell. So the pubs are, you've got the Craster Arms, you have the Beadnell Towers, which is part of the same chain as the Black Swan in Seahouses. You've got the Landings, which is where we're going to go for our next stopover. You've got Saltwater Cafe, which is another place we haven't been to yet, but is on our list to do this year. And it looks like they're doing a bit of work there. It looks like they're extending the outside seating area as well a little bit, which should be great in summer. And you've got the courtyard, which is like the sort of cafe that does teas and cakes and stuff like that. So there's quite a few places in Beadnell. And we will be going to the Landings, and we will show you what that is like when we get there. One thing to note when you're doing the coastal route is when you dip off onto the beach, there are points where you get to get back off it and back onto the path, because behind me there's a big estuary where the sea comes in. So we're going to have to go around, and there is a bridge to get across it, but we've overshot it. The bridge is way over that way, so I probably added about another half a mile onto our journey. So we're now dredging through sand dunes in order to get back on track. So yeah, you do need to sort of pay attention to the route. Anyway, we'll be back on track soon. This is better. This is why you need to stick to the path, because it would have been rather difficult getting across that bit, or rather wet. So over the bridge we go. Beautiful again though. Great for bird life. Who's that trip trapping over my bridge? So this is the last stretch of the journey between Low Newton and Beadnell. So we've exited the beach, gone over the bridge after losing our way a little bit, and now the route takes you through the Beadnell Bay caravan park here. Quite big. This is quite a big caravan park, this one, and it brings us out quite nicely by the landings, which we're going to stop off for a drink and a toilet break. So we shall see you shortly. So we're nearing the end bit of the second part of our walk. Just exited the Beadnell Bay caravan park there, and here we are at the landings bar and pub. This is a lovely little place, this. So you can see there's people sat outside, but all the windows there, in the summer they all open up, it fully opens up. So it's a real sun trap, so it's a really nice place to come to in the summer. There's food, drink, tea and coffee, so very nice place. So we're going to pop in here and have a little drink now. So we've just had a little pint at the landing. Nice little place, and you'll just see the videos we've posted from that place. And now it's the final leg of our journey, or what stage is it, Mrs?
Stage 3.
Stage 3, which is Beadnell back to Seahouses. This is probably the shortest part of the route we've taken today. About a couple of miles now along the beach between the two places, and then we'll be back at home to see our dogs, who are waiting patiently for us, who would normally come with us on the shorter walks, but they're a bit tired. They've done a lot of walking the last couple of days, so they're having a bit of a rest today. And a 10 to 11 mile hike is a bit too much.
It is for a 13-year-old.
It is for the older dog, who's nearly 13, yes. Yeah, so we'll do a little bit of filming on the last bit as we get to Seahouses. I'm back on the beach for the final stretch. So we're heading there. So that headland there is where another golf course is in Seahouses. and that's, we're heading sort of near there. We'll have to come off before we get to there. You can get down to the beach from that bit from the golf course, but the tide's too far in, so we'll have to come off a little bit before that. And once again, no one in sight. All quiet, just us, the waves, the seabirds. So one of the best features about this coastline is the amount of birds that you'll see. So if you like your wildlife and birds, etc., you will see a lot around here. And plenty of these things here, these birds, herons, you'll see them on the coastline, you'll see them around water features. They are quite popular. You just bide the time, wait for fish and everything else, and they're really quite magnificent birds they are. Of course, you've got the Farne Islands, which are way out there, and I would heartily recommend going to the Farne Islands on a boat trip, but that will be a video for another day. An amazing array of birds over there, puffins, all sorts. Right, back on with the walk. On to Seahouses. So we're just getting towards the end of the beach here between Beedon and Seahouses. So we're just gonna see if the tide's far enough out for us to take up the coastal path along the golf course, which goes around the headland and finishes nicely off in the harbour. If not, we'll come off at a different point of the golf course, which is quite a big golf course and stretches quite a way around, and we'll come off there instead. But we'll have a look in a couple of minutes and see where we're going to get up back off the beach. We're now 10 miles into the walk. And it's been amazing, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant day.
I'm getting a bit tired.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, been superb. So we've overshot it again, so we can either go back on ourselves, or we can just, for viewing experience, we can go across here so we can clamber up by the golf course. So there goes Mrs. M. Oh dear. Yeah, right, okay. So my turn now. I'm just going to leg it, me. Right, here we go. There we go. Very wet feet now. This is all for you viewers. You know this, don't you?
You noticed I sent me first.
Yeah, yeah. Mrs. M tested the water, literally.
Not that cold actually.
I haven't got through your boots yet, that's why. Yeah. Right, so are we going up that way or? Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good. I know, there's loads of birds everywhere. Loads of oyster catchers are very popular at the moment, and I'm not sure the kitty hawks over there. Loads of birds, yeah. Yeah, I don't think we can clamber over the rocks. Basically, we'd have to sort of go along there, and then that point there is where you'd get up and down. Yeah, look at all this seaweed here, wow. Yeah, if you sleep on the beach, you've got a bed for at night. So we're going to go up here where those boulders are there, which will take us up onto the golf course. And end our walk. So on that note, I think we're going to say goodbye. So yeah, I think we'll end it there. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed the journey with us, and hope it's given you a bit of a flavour of part of the coastal route and the beautiful scenery that there is to see around here. As I said, this is just a 10-mile stretch of it. It goes on for miles and miles. So do come here. Hope you've enjoyed it. Once again, if you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. It does help. Just lets us know if what we're doing is any use to anyone. And we'll see you again soon. So not quite the end of the video. Mrs. M says I peaked too early, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Story of my life.
I've no answer to that, is there really? She doesn't say much, but when she does say something, it's usually really effective. So yeah, so this is the golf course, Seahouses golf course. Looks a very nice golf course actually. Really good. Lots of challenging holes.
19th hole.
And then this place here, just remove my glasses because I can't see because of the sun, that's the golf house, the clubhouse. And again, this is a nice place you can come to. It's got a veranda outside where you can sit outside. Very nice. You can come with the dogs, sit outside. Dogs are allowed inside, but there's only a certain amount of dogs allowed inside at any time. But it's a nice, great view to sit out and watch the golfers as they come in on the final hole. And you've got the view of the sea, so very nice place. But we'll feature that a bit more when we do a bit more about Seahouses. So I think that is going to be the end of the video. Can I close it now?
Yeah.
So bye-bye, Mrs. M.
Bye bye, Mrs. M.